my first question is on, in regards to active transport. How are we going to get our people safely that are walking, biking, hiking, other than vehicle, from Beat Out Loop 1 and 2 to the main part of the reserve? So we need active transport, a route there, and I don't see one in those plans.
So the approach we were thinking is right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there's members that come down here, walk along, and go in some locations. So what the expectation is that there'd be economic development up on this side of the highway, which would end up building this area out. This, I'd mentioned about extending, there's a bridge or a culvert right here under Highway 104 that we need to lengthen on both sides. So there's been enough length accommodated in that to accommodate a walking path or something if it's decided to do that in the future. It's not something that's in the project right now, but there'd be enough room on that bridge to accommodate an active transportation trail or a walking trail or something that could be connected back through here and tie into whatever this land use would be. Obviously, it's a decision not known now.
I'm talking about the main reserve, the band office, for instance. Where the band office is, the main reserve. I'm talking about that, not just the access.
Up in here, okay.
Not just the access to the commercial area, but the
Right.
to the reserve there, the loop, the big loop. No, the S loop.
So we don't have, so up in here.
Yes.
Yeah. There's nothing formal that's been built into the designs, but we'd expect something could easily be accommodated in here. And again, we don't know exactly where that should be or how that should look, but there would be opportunity to tie in to the loop somewhere through here. And on the bridge, you can see on the plans, we do have, it's 2 lanes. It's 2 lanes for cars on the bridge, but there's also, we call them active transportation trails. So there's a 3-meter wide trail across the bridge as well to give people a safe place to cross over on the structure.
Well, I think if you're looking for approval, safety is first for our people. We want our people being killed in the meantime while you're waiting to say, well, in the future sometime this active transport will be there. The active transport should be built in with the project today, not somewhere down the road where somebody can get run over or get hit or be injured on that road, because that was the main issue for the chief and council back in the day, and that's one of the major concerns. If you're going to be looking for a vote, then safety has to be paramount in the design of that project.
Yep.
That's one of the questions I have.
Definitely safety. I'll just finish. We'll cover that one off, then we can continue on. Through the roundabouts, there are accommodations for pedestrians, crosswalk locations, location for sidewalks around the roundabout. We have the accommodation on the bridge.
I understand that, but I'm just talking about the safety issue I'm talking about, is getting our people safely from Beat Out Loop 1 and 2 to Buckingham Community. So for instance, example, the band office or the medical center, so that they safely can come down that road without the fear of being hit or injured on the way down. So that, I think, needs to be brought to the province, or brought up by the chief and council at least, to say to the province that we need that in there before you finish that project plan that you're finishing right now, so that people are not injured. We wouldn't want to lose a life over a project because of economic development. The other question was in regards to some people that are living in the area around the highway, maybe in one of my offices, in regards to noise reduction, noise pollution. Will there be barriers put up for noise pollution in this plan? Is there barriers set aside for noise pollution?
We do have, within that tripartite agreement, it prescribes a lot of things. And one of the clauses that's been added in there addresses noise and basically says concerns with noise need to be dealt with. We didn't want to say exactly what it is that would be done. We want to put that in the hands of the community members to decide, certainly have an influence on what that noise mitigation needs to be, whether it would be trees or a fence or a piled up earthen berm that provides noise mitigation and provides a visual blockage of the traffic. Sometimes that's a big part of it, is if you can't see the noise, it's not perceived as strong in the brain. It's kind of crazy. We went through a lot of this with the Antigonish project, dealing with noise and noise mitigation.
Yeah,
That is something we have written in the tripartite agreement that forces government to deal with that when construction is ongoing.
well, I think with the tripartite agreement, I think it needs to be released pretty soon, PJ, because we're not, like Dwayne's bringing us up to speed now, but we're not up to speed on exactly what's in that tripartite agreement. And we're uninformed. And if you want to vote to pass, you've got to be informed. You've got to inform the community of exactly what it means and bermers. And in your opinion, what makes the best barrier for sound is what we'd be looking for. If that's a wall that's going up there, cement wall or stuff would be the best barrier for noise pollution, then that's what we'd be looking for. We want none but the best. After all, we're going on 52 years now since 1965 when the highway was first put through, and the loss of our land and lost use of that land, and many requests to the province over the years by many chiefs and councils to have access to that land and being refused access being denied. A part of that compensation should be nothing but the best for Buck and Gay. So noise reduction should be barriers put up in those areas where noise is going to be anticipated.
Yeah, and again, getting back to not wanting to prescribe exactly what we think should happen or could happen, because the best solution for noise mitigation may not be the right solution for the community member that's living next to it, because the best solution has quite a significant footprint compared to putting up a wall or putting in trees. So we want to put that back in the hands of chief and council and the individual community members to say, just put some trees there is all I want, or I want a fence, or you can pile 5,000 tons of gravel there, and that's good for me. Fortunately, we're getting to the point with the project that the 52 years will become history, that we will have the interchange, we will have the roads, and we will have that access reinstated that was lost many years ago.
Yeah, I'm firmly for the project because I've worked on it for 7 years, but I wanted to make sure that it's up to par, that safety is first, which is missing right now, noise pollution, which is missing, and you talked about a tendering process, tendering provisions. We'd like to get more details on the tendering provisions of when the companies come in and do the work, what percentage of Buck and Cake people are going to be working there, how are they going to be guaranteed to have to meet that quota, because companies in the past have always had a quota to meet, but always had excuses of not meeting that quota. Mm-hmm. So what penalties are in place for that company that doesn't meet the quota? Let's say if I own a trucking company and I should have 15% Mi'kmaq working for me, but I'm saying there's not 15% Mi'kmaq drivers out there. Yeah. Then why can't I train them? Why can't we have people trained for those positions in the tendering process? So we'd like to be able to take a look at that too, to see exactly what's in the tendering process when that occurs, and what provisions are made for our people to work on the project. Not just people from this community, but people from other communities as well, because we have neighboring communities in Waikagama, Pictou Landing, Cape Breton, where people might be qualified to work in the projects that our people aren't. So that, the Mi'kmaq component of it should be very important. It's not just Buckingham Mi'kmaq that should benefit, but if other people in the other communities, surrounding communities, have expertise in such areas, or trucks or whatever, to be able to work in that project, it should be Mi'kmaq focused. As I've always said when when I was chief in preparation for the project.
No, your words certainly echoed strongly over the years as chief when you were involved with the project, and it is something that's also written into the tripartite agreement to put it's wording that's been used in the past by government, and we've enhanced it greatly to put ownership on the contractor to hire up to 20% Aboriginal workers. And if they couldn't, then to clearly demonstrate what they did to attempt it, and if it didn't work out, why it didn't work out. Not just make a phone call and that's good enough.
Yeah,
it's wording that's much stronger than that.
There should be a penalty also with that. If you don't meet the 20% quota, then part of your contract money should be.
Yeah, it's tough to put a penalty if you don't get 20%, because as we heard with Madawaska, they only have only 5% of the Mi'kmaq work within the development. So it's to ensure that the contractor puts all the effort
That's from their community.
possible.
They're only using their community. I'm talking about Mi'kmaq across the province here. I'm not talking about just one community. So that would address the issue of, if there's not workers here, there could be workers in Pictou Landing, there could be workers in Waikagama, Walmet Cook, Portalodec, which are all very close to us. And it wouldn't take much for them to get here to work on the project.
No, it's great, and I certainly hope we can see that 20%. I think it'd be a real successful project, and then some.
Yes, I hope so too. The other thing I must really, like you're saying, you must say yes. We've got to say yes. Bring your brother and your sister. I agree with having to say yes, but we have to be informed. So that lies with the chief and council to be informing us beforehand, not waiting till you guys make some type of decision, but information should be out now, not too much, giving us a month to make a decision, or a week or 2 weeks to make a decision and come up with a vote. We need the information now so that we can go through it and respond back to what we'd like to see in that project before even final draft is done. Like you were saying, how long before the final draft is going to be done, submitted?
Yeah, we'll do anything that's needed by Chief and Council to help with getting that word out, and including sessions like this, or if there's other bits of those details within the tripartite agreement that the community wants to be seeing, then we'll do whatever is needed to help with that. So
just 2 points I want to make. One is safety and inform. So and employment. So those are the 3 points that I wanted to make. Thank you very much.
I just want to follow up on those great questions there that was mentioned by Gerard there. And it's related to getting the specifics of the agreement. As mentioned earlier, there has been a lot of negotiations around the agreement on specific provisions, a number of provisions that are included within it. In terms of informing community, this is part of that process. And certainly as we get more towards the surrender vote, there will be more community meetings, more in-depth discussions about what is essentially within the tripartite agreement. In fact, everybody will be getting, every household will be getting a copy of the tripartite agreement. It's going to be part of the surrender package as well. As mentioned earlier, Judy Crosman, who was unable to make it, but I will be sort of linked in at a future meeting. We'll get into more specifics of the surrender process itself. So there will be more community meetings talking about the substance of the agreement. It's an excellent point to sort of bring to the attention of community what's essentially within there. It's